Hi everyone, and welcome to the first episode of I'm Not Dramatic. I'm here with Tatiana, and we're going to get to her story in just a second, but please share this video. We are trying to reach more families out there who are struggling, and so this is going to be the first episode, and you are going to hear her story, and we are going to get started now.
Princess was born at 1 pound 4 ounces. She was born 12 inches long, so literally the size of a ruler. When she was born, she was extremely see-through. I actually almost didn't get to meet her when she was born. Her dad fought for me to meet her before they came to the hospital, before they left that hospital. The transport team just kept trying to rush her here, and she wasn't necessarily in a position like she had to be rushed over here or anything. I mean, she was born tiny, but she was breathing on her own. She was really good. It was amazing. It was.
And how far?
Crazy.
So we're at the Nemours campus. How far away is? And I don't know how to say. What's the hospital's name again?
HCA Osceola.
Osceola.
It's the county.
Gotcha.
That hospital to here is maybe 30 minutes. So it's not anything crazy. She was born. She was perfectly fine. She had to go in her little NICU incubator box, and I had just barely made it back to the room, and the transport team had rushed in with her, and they were like, okay, this is your baby. And I got to see her, and I tried to take pictures of her, but the pictures that I got were not great pictures, just because I was like half drugged up and trying to see her, take pictures of her. Did not go the best. Her dad, on the other hand, has great pictures of her from when she was born. And they got here, and then the next day, her lungs collapsed, which is how she became intubated with the ET tube. And then 5 months with the ET tube, she developmentally couldn't stay swaddled forever because my baby is crazy and she liked to always pull at her ET tube. So a tracheostomy and a gastrostomy. The tracheostomy is basically a hole in your trachea, so that way they can put a trach, which is kind of like a straw, but it goes down into your airway to give air to your lungs. So they gave her one of those back in July. The day before she had that surgery, I was having some issues, and I got rushed to the emergency room. My mom had to take off work. She came to get me because I typically am not one to get sick, and if I do, it's like a minor cold. I woke up that morning, I had a migraine, I was throwing up. Something just didn't feel right with my body, and I was calling everybody here that I could to ask them to take me to the hospital. And then I called my mom and I was like, look, I don't know how I'm gonna get there. I might have to call 911 to me, but I'll get to a hospital. It's right across the way. That's the craziest part about this area, is the hospital is right across the way, but you can't walk there. You could, but in the state I was in, I couldn't walk there. I could barely get out of the bed as it was. I was shaking. It was not good. So I was terrified because I was like, I pray that they don't have to keep me overnight or anything like that, because my baby's having surgery tomorrow. I can't afford to do that. After I got to the ER, they did an MRI and a CT scan, I think, on my brain. I found out I have something called empty sella syndrome. It has to deal with your pituitary gland, and I've learned that has to do a lot with preeclampsia and your hormones and a lot of things, actually. I didn't end up producing milk the way my body should have when Princess was born. Even with her being so early, my body still was making the milk and trying, but my hormones weren't balanced, so it wasn't allowing me to keep reproducing the milk. I've had
And I know how much that has broke your heart.
yeah. I feel like my pregnancy and my breastfeeding journey in general were stolen from me.
Yeah.
It was very rough. And so I still have to allow myself to process and really mourn the fact that I never had those things. Like a true, genuine baby shower, traditional, I should say, traditional baby shower. I didn't get to have that. I had my baby shower in January, knowing I was supposed to have my baby in April, but I had my baby in January. In a hospital room at that, via Zoom.
Oh.
Like, yeah. Because there was only a certain amount of people that were allowed to be in my hospital room. So we maxed out the people in the hospital room. We did a gender reveal and made the biggest mess there.
In the hospital room. Oh, that's amazing.
So my mom brought the gender reveal balloon, and on the Zoom call or the FaceTime, whatever it was, live stream video, there's a video of Michael and I'm sitting in the hospital bed, he's sitting next to me, we have the balloon, it's over my head, and we go and pop it, because I knew it was a confetti balloon, so I knew confetti was going to be flying. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna go and hold it over my head, and I popped the balloon. Confetti went everywhere. There was light pink, dark pink, white, and gold confetti pieces. She said she took 2 packs of confetti and put them all into this one balloon, and she made it gigantic. Oh my gosh, it was so pretty though. Oh my, I loved it. And that was the gender reveal that I had.
Do you have video?
Ready?
I
3,
have videos.
2,
See that?
1, go!
the most fun
Oh,
about it.
look at
That
you!
was great, but I
Look at
was
you!
so when I took a shower later that night.
No, it's going back. I thought.
There was confetti everywhere. When I tell you, like, I had to have help in the shower because my blood pressure was so high that, like, I was at a fall risk. So Mike had to help me to the bathroom and, like, help me shower and everything like that. It was a very, very trying time for our relationship, and a very powerful time at the same time, because it showed me, like, he was there for me when times got really rough. Times
Right.
got he was literally wiping my butt, like, bathing me, like, it was crazy. he was there. He never left my side, and I'm forever grateful for that. The best part was when the baby shower was over, the day was over, everything like that. I had an ultrasound the next day, and, like, there was confetti in my butt crack when I went to go take a shower. It was under my breast, like, it was hilarious. I was like, what is happening?
Wow.
But the next day we go to ultrasound, and there's confetti just down the hallway, tracked down the hallway. And then I had my pajamas on that I was wearing the day before, because, you know, wash them and all the fancy things. I put them back on. There's more confetti in the pockets. So now I just start taking it out of the pockets and dropping it everywhere. By the time I was out of that hospital, they were probably so done with me because there was confetti everywhere. I was like, oh my gosh, they're probably gonna literally hate me. And then it was funny because a few weeks later, I stayed in the hospital for a total of 3 weeks. I got admitted, my birthday was on January 7th. I got admitted on January 9th, and then gave birth on January 30th. That was exactly 3 weeks apart, the 9th to the 30th. The 30th was my little brother's birthday. Started out a great day. It was around like 6 something that I was like, okay, let's get ready to lay down, call it a day. It was an overall good day that I could remember. I was just like, all right, I'm exhausted, let's lay down. So we get ready to lay down, doctors rush in, we're like, hey, we're gonna take the baby, she has to come out now. I was like, oh, okay.
The monitor was telling them something?
I had been contracting. I didn't even know. Didn't even feel it. But they had recognized on the monitor that she wasn't moving as much. That she had stopped moving. And when I was pregnant with my preeclampsia, I had something called absent diastolic flow. So my umbilical cord wasn't giving her all the nutrients she needed. I said as long as it didn't go backwards, she could still stay in my body and she could grow inside of me. So the day they rushed in, when they did, they recognized and realized it was because my umbilical cord flow was going backwards. So they were like, we have to come in, we have to take her out right now, like, this is it. That was terrifying.
Because that puts both you and the baby at risk.
It does, and it put her at a bigger risk than it put me, and so I was just like, okay, we have to get her out. It's safest for her, it's best for her. Within that course of the 3 weeks, I actually had steroid shots. I had to get steroid shots injected in my butt cheeks. It was crazy. I was like, and they did not feel good either. They were like, I mean, the needle wasn't big or anything, but it burned.
Yeah.
Burned so bad. I was like, oh my goodness. I was like, the things you do for the little people that you love. Oh, because that did not feel good at all. Right. So yeah, they rushed in that night. Told me we had to take her out. So I told Mike that he needed to call my mom. She actually told me that night that like before, or the night before or something like that, that she felt like she just needed to pray over the entire house. So she went to the middle of the house and just started praying. And then the next day was a normal day, good day. And that was the day where they rushed in. I told him to call my mom, and so she ran to the middle of the house, yelled, "She's having the baby!" And they all got to the hospital within 5 minutes. Yeah.
Wow.
It was crazy. By the time I was getting wheeled back into the operating room, my entire family was already in the waiting room. So it was a blessing to have them all there, him there. He was kind of being the middleman liaison because he was in there with me, got to see me go in through the surgery, everything like that, and then he stepped out to go and update them, talk to them, everything like that. Then he got to come back in, sit with me while they were starting to cut me open and take her out. Then he got to cut her umbilical cord and like actually help bring her into the world, and
Oh, that's amazing.
it was very cool experience. I was throwing up on the operating table. I was nauseous. Oh, I do not. That feeling just came back to me. That was gross. I just remember being so like, I think because I was so scared and so nervous. Like the idea of being cut open. 7 layers deep at that. Not even just cut open, but like 7 layers in, and you, that literally, yeah.
We had very different experiences with C-sections. I had 2 that were honestly amazing.
I mean, no, my C-section itself was absolutely amazing.
Recovery though.
Recovery was.
Okay, I should have said my recovery was like, I ran up the stairs. I did tear a stitch. We talked about that.
Oh yeah, we did.
But yeah.
I was very, very, even now, almost 9 months postpartum, I'm still very cautious and careful with the activities that I do because I still am extremely numb under my belly.
That does take a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. A lot of the time, like, I rub my stomach because I'm just like, hello? Because they're still, like, I feel that there's feeling there, but I don't.
Sorry.
Back
From the hospital. That's why you see flashing lights.
But I still press on my stomach now just because I'm like, okay, well, is it like, I feel that the nerves are there. But are they connecting? Are they coming? Like, am I feeling them again? Like, what?
I feel like it was more than a year. I feel like it was at least like 2 years where it was still numb. But then I also had C-sections. I had a C-section, and 2 years later I had a C-section.
So that's not helpful.
It took 4 years. I don't know. I don't remember. I'm trying to remember what's right. I feel like it did stay numb for quite some time.
Then almost 9 months postpartum, I still am very cautious about what I do, just because I don't want it to hurt. During my recovery, I didn't really take anything stronger than ibuprofen. So that for me was really cool. I was wearing my thing for the most part all the time until I didn't feel like I really needed to anymore. And I was just like, okay, not wearing this anymore.
The brace?
Mm-hmm. And then one of my daughter's nurses over in the NICU, she actually was a labor and delivery nurse too. And she was like, where is your brace? You need to still be wearing that. And I was like, I do? She was like, yeah. I was like, oh. So I found it. Then I started wearing it again, I think for like 2 days. I took it right back off. It was terrible. It wasn't terrible wearing it. I'm just terrible at remembering. But overall, it's been a crazy journey because after she was born, she came here. She had her lung collapse on day 2. She ended up battling staph infections twice. She's had MRSA. She, has died like 4 times. Well, I won't say has died. She did not die. She almost died like 4 different times. She has had a chest tube. She currently has a tube in her lung, in her left lung, due to the fact that she had basically a cyst. It's called a pneumatocele, but it's just like a cyst, and it was growing in her lung, and we were watching it. She was getting x-rays all the time, so we were watching it, and it was fine. It was like, it's currently 47 centimeters, which is the biggest it got while it was growing, and then all of a sudden it blew up to like 50 something centimeters. So we had to contact interventional radiology to get them to put a drain in her lung in that pneumatocele, so that way they could drain it. It could hopefully potentially shrink, and then it would disappear. Most recent update on that is that it did shrink, but down to its original 47 centimeters, not all the way. So the next step is to potentially, hopefully, contact the doctor in interventional radiology and see if either he can fully remove it or what he can do at that point, just because otherwise, if it doesn't work now, then it's just gonna have to be repeated later, and it's one of those, like, it's not going anywhere, so I don't think it's going to without more of a forceful course of action. So I think surgery for that will have to be done next. We have to look into getting her a helmet, because this little girl is the cutest little thing in the world, but she has 4 quadrants in her head. Her skull is not fully connected yet, and in her skull she has her soft spots come together this way and this way, so it literally, like, her head from the top looks like it's shaped like this almost, but in the front of her head it's like very close to the front, so it's more like that in the front of her head. I always say she has a butt crack head. I do. I love my baby so much. I truly do. She has beautiful, beautiful orange hair. She's a blessing. She really is. I'm lucky to have her. I'm glad that I have her.
So what would help your family?
A vehicle. I've been struggling around this area without one, but
We are in the middle of nowhere, Orlando.
Cowland.
Totally Cowland.
Right down the street from the airport, but not close enough.
Yeah, the airport's the only, like, I think it takes almost as long to get to, what, Walmart's the closest store, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's about the same amount of time to get to the airport.
Publix is closer.
Nah. Anyway, we're out in the middle of nowhere.
Like,
And how much longer are you going to be here?
We don't have a discharge date, but if I had to give an estimate, I'd say probably till February, March of next year.
A year. And that's tough.
It has been.
Yeah. So anyway, I was just wanting to get her story out. This is the first of many. Thank you so much for watching.
Thank you for listening to our story.
What is the best way for people to donate to your family?
We have Cash App, we have Venmo, and we have Chime.
Okay.
All of the handles for those will be Tiny Mama, MAMA, 2025.
We'll link those down below. And please donate. Remember, small donations really do count. And please share these videos. Remember, we are looking for other families who are struggling, and we'd like to share their stories as well. I do have quite a few families here that would like to tell their stories, but I will be checking the email. The email will be linked as well in the description. Again, thank you so much.